Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here today. I do have to offer an apology for last week. I was sick, and was not able to stream. So I do apologize for not being able to be here, but sometimes you just got to do what you can and take care of yourself. So I've thrown a poll in chat, and I want to know one of the things we're going to talk about today is how do we positively impact our community? And what I mean by that is there's so much bogus information out there. There's been discussions with a number of people. I've had them, or other people have had them. But we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We've had a good discussion pre going live today about this. And I think it's something that there's a lot of people who are actively engaged in things and in looking at some of the information out there. I'm not going to blame this on AI, because AI is just a tool used by people to easily push out information, whether it's authentic or not. We have to fight that. But how do we combat this? How do we actually resolve this? So I want you to put something in chat. If you're there, do that, please. But answer the poll. Do you want to see things like more long form content? Do you think that'll be beneficial? Short form content, do you think that will be beneficial? Do you want to see more peer level reviews or interviews for that matter? What is it that you want to see? And if you have other suggestions, and again, we're going to talk about this today. If you have suggestions as we're doing that, fill out that poll or put stuff in chat, and we'll be tracking those. I see a couple of people putting it in, so thank you for doing that. As always, I have my favorite folks online. We have Paula and Eric. I think they're both grabbing coffee. They may be back.
I got mine.
She's like, I got mine. Eric will be back here in just a second.
Saturday.
Say again.
I said happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. It's good to be here and not in there. Oh, but I wrote a song.
Oh, but.
Yeah, speaking of but. I wrote a parody.
About your diarrhea?
Well, kind of, yeah. Michael Bublé's Home?
Huh?
The song by Michael Bublé, Home? You familiar with that song?
No.
I ain't in Paris and Rome, but I want to go home.
Yeah, it doesn't ring.
Oh, I wish you.
I like the guy, but
anyway. So I was sitting there, and I joked with my daughter about this for a while, and sitting there on the throne, I have affectionately called it "Stuck on the Throne," and so I'm actually going to try and build a video. It's going to be on witticism. It's going to be a makeup of that, so we'll see how that works. But anyway, it's coming out soon. I try to make good of the bad things in life. Yeah. So I have a couple call outs that I need to do before I begin.
Shout out.
One of them is to subscribers that have recently subscribed that have done within the last few days. And I wasn't
when you say that call out, I got to tell you, it reminds me of when I was in like elementary school and you would get in a fight with someone and you'd be like, I'm going to call her out.
Oh yeah, wrong call out.
I'm going to call you out.
I'm not calling out anybody for doing anything stupid, but I have had a number of subscribers in the last 2 weeks, and I want to call out a few of them because they subscribed just about the time I was supposed to go live last week, and then I didn't do it. So Farmer Stacker, Admiral Walt Mills, Coyote Richardson, Richard Prescott, Jeff Van Zant, Dendra Basier, Todd Rude, Butcher Kittler, Joe DeFugio, Katie Behringer, Tim Hollins, and Amaran John Van Hawa, whatever your name is. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I appreciate that. I haven't been able to say thank you. And I also want to say thank you to Mr. Vote for Pedro. Vote for Pedro sent me his private channel round. And he only sends these to people who he's felt have had a positive impact And I've tried to do a lot with him on growing things like the John Howe Wounded Warrior thing,
Catch me outside. How about that?
talking about some other things. Anyway, he honored me by sending this, and I want to say thank you
What
to
a guy,
Pedro.
Pedro.
Hey, Pedro,
Yeah.
you're here, so thank you so much for that. I this means a lot to me, and I want people to know that I appreciate you and all the stuff that you do for our community. So, thank you for this. I know that you've been placed in some difficult situations over the years, and but you have a good heart, a good situation. So, I want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
That means a lot to me. Now, speaking to another thing, St. Jude is around the corner. We have just a few days.
Yeah,
March
next week,
15th.
right?
1 week. Yes.
One week.
One
So
week. Holy mackerel. We were
there
working
are
on it
a
for
couple
couple
things that
years.
I'm going to be throwing into chat. Okay, these things are, this is the site for St. Jude. If you haven't been there, you can go. This is something where you're going to be doing your donations directly. I want to make sure that's there. If you want to look at the stuff that is on the spreadsheet is, oh, come on, don't do this.
And I think we're about 50 lots. I think there's still about 50 lots that need to be added. And that's going to get done today.
AZ, I'm going to, or Azure, I'm going to block you if you say that one more time.
Well, we do have one of those, but it's not that. Oh, that first one was something else. Eh?
Oh God, that thing, I heard that thing so many times. But it was like, oh, I was like off. I eventually left. It was so annoying.
So make sure that you guys are pre-registered.
So that last link is the pre-registration. That's going to be something you need to do. Please get over and
pre-register. It takes a minute. I mean, it's super easy. None of your information is shown or shared or anything like that. You cannot bid if you are not pre-registered. So make sure you're pre-registered. No more donations will be accepted. I mean, item donations, because any more donations that are received will go to next year's auction. The spreadsheet is closed. So, but you can always make cash donations. And I'm going to put this out there. There are about 400 lots. Ida, last year, it cost Ida about $1,500 to ship all the items that were sold. She got about $900 in donations. I think this year she has received so far about $100.
I plan on sending her 100, so everybody knows.
It is going to cost her a fortune, and so she said that that's going to be her donation to St. Jude's this year, because it's going to cost her a fortune to do all the shipping, because nobody gets charged shipping. So if you guys want, please get over to Ida's on Monday and grab her PayPal or her Cash App and throw her a few bucks, please. I'm asking that from myself. That does not come from Ida. She is not asking anybody for anything. I'm asking you guys, please, if you can, dig a little deep and shoot Ida a few bucks don't do it through Super Chat.
Yeah, they only get about 40% of Super Chat.
Yeah, don't do it through Super Chat. Just grab, all you have to do is go into her link in the morning, hit exclamation point pay or one of those things, and her Cash App and her PayPal will come up. Please, please, please. I don't. You know what, Azure? Let me go see if I can grab it for you guys. Let me go see if I can grab it for you.
What do you need?
Ida's PayPal or Cash App link.
I got it right here. Hold on.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, that's not Ida asking. That's me asking. She does so much for this community anyway, and she would never ask, but I'm asking. So that is Frostbytes.
It's $. This is for Cash App. It's $ Ida Herring. So it is her Cash App is
and I think her PayPal might be herring.ida@gmail.com.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
So that is the Cash App there.
There. Perfect.
And her name shows up with a white eye, I believe, or yellow eye.
Okay. I think they changed the color on those, though.
Do you got her email address for PayPal, Frosty?
Hold on just a sec.
Yeah, YouTube takes a ton. It's always best if you want to support a channel. Super chats are fun, and everybody sees it and everything else. But if you really want to support the channel with a cash donation or whatever, try to grab their PayPal link or their Cash App link or something else besides Super Chat, because YouTube takes a fee out, PayPal takes a fee out. Like it's
Google Pay will, Apple Pay will, they all take the cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they still separate for some reason, Azer.
So her PayPal is this.
And if you can't afford to support a channel with a PayPal or anything, a good way to do it is to watch some ads. When the ads pop up on the channel, watch the ads all the way through. Don't skip them. Sometimes you can, they even get more if you click on the link, on the ad link. You don't have to buy anything. You can just click on it and go right back out. But
now, Ida's, when you do the PayPal, make sure that if you type in the herring.ida@gmail.com, it should show up as Embroidery and Quilts by Design. So make sure that when you're doing the PayPal, that shows up there. And those are the two. I will create, I got to do this. If somebody can remind me of this later, I will, for tomorrow, I'll make sure I do the ! Ida. And so get that into my Nightbot so we can add all that information for the payment information so that we can support that.
Yeah, make sure you're adding a little note too. You can send friends and family for sure, and put a little note, just put for shipping.
What time are the streams occurring?
I think she has us starting at she starts an hour early before the auction just to get everybody in and say hi. So I think it's 9 Pacific.
Okay, so 11 Central?
Yeah, don't quote me on that. I'm going to go check.
So I will leave this up to chat. I will be streaming both days because I stream before everybody goes live, so it's not a big deal. I will have a link. Not everybody does except friends and family. Ida's is going to show up as a business account. And if you send...
Yeah, hers may not.
Hers will be a business account.
It doesn't, and my account doesn't allow me to sell it since it's a business account also.
Yeah, I can't use on mine either.
Actually, it is telling me that there's going to be no PayPal fee. Oh, she'll pay the PayPal fee. Never mind. I'm so stupid sometimes. Okay. All right, I challenge everybody. I just sent my 100.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so there's definitely, and again, folks,
you guys are the best.
There's a lot of people who can't, and what I want to be very clear about here is, do not put yourself in any financial constraint for this. No. There's enough people who will be doing stuff. Do your part. If it's reaching out and sharing the stream, then go drop it in your Instagram. Go drop it in your Facebook. Go drop it in your Twitter. Go drop it in your YouTube. Mm-hmm. Right? Try to do what you can to get other people in there. I do not want, and I'm in a situation right now where I have a little bit, I'm looking at a couple of these items. I've got the spreadsheet open right now, and folks, there are some amazing things on here. And I'm looking at some of these things and looking at but I don't know when these are going to go off. So I'm not going to be able to watch the whole thing. I've got obligations. So I'm going to be going in certain times, watching for certain things and doing what I can to support. But I know that I can't be there the whole time because I'll get myself into trouble. So I'll spend way more money than I have because there's going to be a lot of good stuff. So if you're that kind of person and you know you can't put yourself in that situation, don't. Period. End of story. Don't. We don't want anybody going into financial distress over any of the fundraisers. Period. End of story.
Why am I not finding her video on St. Jude's on her channel?
I am going to post a link to the Google sheet.
I posted all three already.
Yeah, but I'm looking for the time we start, and I could have sworn she made a video. Did she put it in her live? Maybe she did it live.
Yeah,
which one?
Google sheet.
I'm looking for her St. Jude's video.
Oh, and people are popping in to look at it. Good.
Okay, she has it scheduled to start at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And that'll be an hour before the auction actually starts.
So that is noon Eastern, 11 Center, no, let's see. 9 Mountain.
Well,
hey Steve, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships, bud. I appreciate you.
Yeah, so 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain,
yeah,
8 Pacific.
Yes. But the actual auction itself won't start till 9, so we always get on there an hour early just to kind of, make sure that everybody's pre-registered and, hang out and have some coffee. And
so I will, on Saturday, I will stream directly into them, and then I will have an auto forward that goes directly to that. So I will make sure that that's there. We'll just keep it up, keep it going, keep it live, and then we'll go straight into it. So if you want to come in and hang out, we can go over some of the items on the sheet, just chit chat about general rules and stuff. So if you guys want to do that, that's fine. And then when she goes,
a slideshow also, you guys, on the spreadsheet, there's a slideshow, so you can actually see the items. There are photos of the items. Like I said, we're about 50 items short. That'll be all finished today. So
I'll see if I can get permission from Ida to share that. I don't want to do that because I'm not trying to bolster myself.
You can share it.
I just want to make sure because I don't want people thinking I'm doing this to bolster myself.
I give you permission. You can share it if they want to see.
So we will do that on Sunday, from 10 to 11 at the end of the show, all the way up until 11 o'clock. We will just run through some of these lots, and we'll just do the slideshow and look at some of these coins.
Just don't show the shield nickel. Skip past that.
What shield nickel?
No, there's not a shield nickel.
There's not a shield nickel. I've already got it.
Also not an 83 DDR.
I should make sure to bid on that.
Hey, Paula, I wonder if there's going to be an 83 over 82.
And there won't be.
Sorry.
Through the computer.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and I'll make sure that we get enough information out there. Hey, thanks for the new subscriber. And again, Steve LaPointe gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Steve. Those went to 7 Stacks. Those went to Bellows, Mike Schleiss, Wendy, and Charles Latre. Speaking of do folks that are good for membership, Charles Latre supports Ida like nobody else.
Charles will be our caller for both days. And most likely the caller, in the chat caller, he will probably, if it's anything like the past 2 years, he will be there the whole time.
Yeah, dude's a stud.
Shit.
Yep.
He is. He's amazing.
So I'm going to share something with you guys really quick. So I want you guys to check this out. And I've been waiting to do this. Really, really freaking easy, right? I've got my name there, Frostbyte Coins. There's my address. I'm city, state, email. Throw your phone number in there. I'm not going to show you my phone number. And
we need your real name and your YouTube name. We have to have your real name and your YouTube name.
And your email address, because that's where the money goes.
Yeah.
I got the email address. It's already there.
Frostbyte's not going to work, so you need to go back when people aren't looking.
But there's a reason I didn't put that on there, Paula. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, go back.
So I know, but I'm just saying this is how easy this form is.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. Put the information in, you're good to go. So
you have to have your real first and last name and your YouTube channel name.
Yeah. Now, I also recommend you guys do something else. When you make your donation and you get your screenshot, right? That says, hey, you've donated. Screenshot that, write down the lot number that you've covered for that item. Make sure you're including the lot number in the notes if you can, but make sure you do that so that you have record of that.
Thank you, D&Die, Dave, Dave, D&Die,
you're going to want to make sure that you track that. Make sure you document that. They do a really, really good job about making sure things are done, making sure that items are tracked. But you always want to make sure for yourself. Make sure there's no question. Again, you are not paying Ida. You are not paying Paula. You are not paying anybody else. This goes directly to the organization. This goes directly to St. Jude.
No middleman.
Upon the completion of that particular bid, you make the payment to St. Jude.
Yep.
You send confirmation of that, and you're done. So again, there are no third parties involved in this. Once you win that, you pay St. Jude. Period. End of story. It's done. That way it relieves any of those items.
Thank you for your donation, Dandy Dave.
Yeah, thanks, Dandy Dave.
Oh my gosh, I said D&Die Dave. Like, hello, Paula.
Hey, what's up, Jedi Master Deb? How are you?
That's like my mom saying, what is that black flag? What is Powmia? I said, Mom, it's P-O-W-M-I-A, not Powmia.
You're joking. You didn't actually say that, right?
My mom said that. My mom said many of you guys know that I'm an alcoholic and I went to rehab at the VA. One of the best rehabs in the country is through the VA. And when I was in there, the first time my mom came to visit me, it was the first time I think she'd ever seen a POWMIA flag. And she said, Paula, what is that? What does Powmia mean?
Nice.
I said, that is POWMIA, not Powmia. By the way, next month will be 13 years. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
13, wait, maybe 14. Wait, let's see. 2012, 13 years. 13 years, yeah. Yes, April 12th. 2012 is my
congrats. That's a long time. That's a massive accomplishment.
My sober birthday. It's
the
only birthday I celebrate. I am nuts, Steve. I am a little off.
Steve LaPointe says, I knew you were nuts, Paula.
I am.
All right, should I play that song now?
Yeah, play the song now. You glued your balls to your butt. Glued my balls to my butthole. I think that's what it's called.
Anyway.
In case you haven't heard it, it's a catchy little tune, everybody.
It is. And there's a ton of songs like that, actually. Yeah, if you go on YouTube and you put that in, there'll be all sorts of, if you like this, you should watch this one. Yeah. And it can get quite addicting.
It is quite a catchy little tune, though.
Yeah, it's a interesting little ditty. That's for sure. Well, hey, we have talked about St. Jude. We have talked about, thank you again. Vote for Petro. Much love for this. I got another thing in that's pretty cool. I got a 10th ounce gold in. That was pretty cool. But, hey, anyway. I do have to call out Tiger. You see this right here?
Call out Tiger. He's calling you out. Meet him behind the bleachers after school.
We just had that conversation.
Have you seen this? So this is
it a little reactor thing or whatever?
Yeah. So this is a gift from, you can see that there's a plasma ball.
Nice.
And this coin is a Nikola Tesla, and he's holding a little lantern. And if you put this coin up to the plasma ball, the lantern glows.
Was that when you used to go to museums when you were in school? Was that like a miniature Tesla coil that they used to have the ball and you'd grab the ball and your hair would stand
yes.
up?
Yes.
That was so cool.
Yeah. They still have that at OMSI.
They have it at a lot of museums still.
So Tiger, we do the stack collector thing, and we're going to do some stuff on Nikola Tesla. So he sent me that. But what I want to really thank him for is he sent me this.
Popeye, all right.
Popeye.
Well, because, Popeye the Sailor Man, right? So I got to just say thanks, Tiger, for doing that.
Shannon loves Popeye.
Oh, I mean, Popeye. And so you know that there's two villains, right? Not just one.
Two villains?
Everybody thinks is it? Okay, so here's a question. What is this guy's name?
Bluto or...
Well, it depends because he had two different names.
He had two different names depending upon the year and who the company was that did the drawing. It's either Bluto or Brutus.
Bluto.
And this one happens to be Brutus.
Bluto, isn't it? Brutus was first, right?
Brutus was first. Bluto was second. Yeah. So that one is Brutus. Yeah, vote for Pedro got it right. But anyway, so let's go ahead. It is 9:00 Central. Let's go ahead and start our first topic. So the first topic is something that we were talking about. Paula was talking about it primarily, but we've had a number of conversations on this particular topic on the channel. And that is, how do we improve the level of good communication, the level of good coin-based information on social media platforms? How do we do that? I've got the poll in here right now, and I'm going to leave that up. It's kind of balanced. If I look at the two, a lot of people are saying more good short form, and that those should say, more good long form content, more good short form content, more expert interviews. And then there have been some suggestions in chat. But I want to talk about this because, again, we continue to see more and more and more issues with the advent and the increases of AI platforms that are out there, the number of videos that you can do with just, a few clicks of a button. How do we increase the good quality? How do we increase the good level of information? Because we can outcompete them. So how do we do that? I'd like to have that discussion.
Well, one of the problems is that a lot of the and it's not just the new generation, some of the older folks too, they want everything in 30 seconds. They want to be able to watch something and learn what they want in 30 seconds and move along. And unfortunately, in this hobby, there's very little that you can learn in just 30 seconds. You are not going to get enough information in that short amount of time. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with a lot of these channels is most of their content are these 30-second shorts or even 1 minute shorts. And they just, it's not even that it's all incorrect information. It's that it's incomplete.
And sometimes incomplete information is worse than,
Like, I'm not willing to do that. If I have a longer form video to go along with it, I'm okay with that. But just to have I want you guys to really learn. So I don't know how I am to compete with that.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing.
My struggle.
You can do this your whole life and not know everything. I mean, you always, when you think you know it all, you're doing something wrong.
Of course.
Yeah. The greatest minds in the hobby still learn stuff.
But you get these, you can find this coin's worth $1 million. You can find this $1 million coin in your pocket change, blah, 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 blah. I've had this conversation with you guys before. I had this with Ken yesterday. I said a lot of the problem I see is that the educators that are coming along nowadays have forgotten where they come from. The coin, what do you think is the coin that is most responsible for bringing in the more modern coin that is most responsible for bringing in new people to the hobby?
Do you want us to answer that, or do you want me to leave it for chat?
I want you guys to answer that.
The 1982 small date copper penny.
It could be. That's the first one that came to mind to me. But I think there's more than one.
But if I were to say that there was another, like, I would classify this 2 or 3 coins. I would say it was the 1943 copper. I would say it was the 1982 small date Denver. I would say it was the 1909 SVDB. I would say it was a 1955 double die. It's got to be one of the top 5.
What about the V over V or the extra V?
Right, because those.
So I would say
those are the ones that have the most misinformation on them.
1982D small day copper.
Yeah,
in fact, that question is posed so often on Facebook that many of the coin groups have now made it a rule that they do not allow that coin.
Yeah, they get deleted right away.
Yeah, it gets deleted right away. That's a problem. I see that as a problem because that coin, I believe, brings in more people to the hobby than any other modern coin. And so if you want to be an educator, you have to be very careful how you handle those people when they ask that question.
Agree.
Because your answer could be the difference between them getting more interested in the hobby or thinking that everybody in this hobby are jerks and they hate it and that's it.
Right.
Well, one of the things to go along with that, Paula, is that, so I did that 1922, which is the very rare high relief 1922. I think there's 2 or 3 of them.
The piece dollar.
Yep. And I have had people say, I have that coin. How do I sell it? And it's like, okay, so you have a 1922 piece dollar. Okay, outstanding. Does it have 4 rays at the bottom of the tail? And they're like, no. It's like, well, then you don't have this particular coin. You do have a 1922, but it's not the high relief. And so, they're like, well, then how much is this worth? And I'm like, well, that depends on a couple different factors. I recommend you go to your local coin shop and look at it. But I remind people that we had one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me since I've been doing this happen live on the show, when I think it was Jackalope Herdmaster introduced us to Coach's Magic. And we got to live break down a really badass coin. Mm-hmm. So when you say be careful, this is something that Paula has told me over and over and over and over again. You're going to hear a lot of things that people find this, people find this, people find this. But you really need to surround yourself with people who understand this. And this is why I collaborate, I'm like with these two, wrong end, these guys, because there's so much information. I don't even want to try to become an expert at everything, because all that would do was set me up for massive failure.
Well, I hate that word, first of all.
What, expert?
There is a thing on Facebook and it has its positive effects and its negative effects. There's a little badge that Facebook introduced. It's called the expert badge. And
group expert badge.
Yeah,
group expert badge. And it has done a lot of harm because it is now being really overused. There's a certain individual who I won't name, but he pretty much begs people in every group to make him a moderator. He becomes a moderator or an admin, and then he adds people willy-nilly as moderators to groups, and then he'll also give them group expert badges. I am now leaving groups when I see that there are people in that group that have that group expert badge that are nowhere near should not even be, anyway, they shouldn't have that badge. And I'm trying to be very diplomatic and be careful with the words I'm using, but they shouldn't. I don't think I should have that badge. However, it does have its benefit, because a lot of times people, especially when they're new to groups, they won't listen to anybody if they don't have that badge next to their name. Now, Ken's group is so old that he doesn't have the option to add that badges to his, people. So some groups don't have that option, are not given that option. But you have to be very careful when somebody claims to be an expert or whatever, or they have a certificate that says that they've completed a course that supposedly makes them an expert or whatever. It's anyway, you have to be very careful. I want to show you guys, I'm trying to find a coin that was recently posted on the Facebook group that got a lot of very incorrect information and could have cost this person quite a bit of money. Now they're not going to get rich from this coin, but I'm going to show you guys, and I understand how people could have mistaken it for something, but in that case, people need to just not answer. I fight that all the time. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hang on. And I'll show you guys an example. And this happens quite often.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately, Facebook is probably not one of your better sources of information. You should look elsewhere first.
There are some good groups in there.
There are, but unfortunately, there's a ton of stuff that is just like the
if you want just information,
YouTube stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you sharing it now?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. So this is one picture. Now you can see the quarter on there. It's a 72D. You see the weight. Whoops. Where did I go? Shoot. What happened?
Click on that picture.
Okay, there we go. Okay. So let me scroll through. So that's the full obverse. Now we got things like it was shaved down. Now you saw the weight, 5 grams. We got comments like, oh, it's been shaved down. It's postmint damage. You can see the reading is pretty well struck. So we know the edge hasn't been shaved. That's a really good picture there, because that shows that this is not clad. The two coins on either side are quarters. So what this is, and 1972D is a more common date for this. This is a quarter struck on a nickel planchet. But had this person listened to the first 3 people that commented on that, they probably would have just tossed it back into change.
And that would have sucked.
And that would have really sucked. Because you can see that coin has circulated for quite a while before this guy finally picked it out and said something's not right about this.
When you find something like that, though, and you're getting multiple answers, don't chuck it. Keep it.
No.
I mean, it doesn't take up much space. And if you're like me, you've got a ton of coins laying around anyways. So you do hear that. I had one of those and I was told that it was this and I threw it back into the thing. Well, the person could have been right, but how much space did it take to throw it in a tube or in a flip and say, write a little note on it?
Yeah.
So always do that. Don't just go to this can't be nothing and throw it into the junk bin.
Oh, Pedro, isn't Aaron great? Aaron Burke is great.
He is.
Aaron Burke is somebody that we need to have up here. I want to do a session on ancients.
He is a hoot.
I need to get him up here. He would be a fun person to have on to talk about ancients. There's a couple coins.
I have never talked to him in person.
There's a couple coins that he's done. He does some shorts of some really, really, really cool ancient coins.
Oh yeah.
And if you have any questions about ancients, that's the dude to go to.
When you have experts telling you of something, then you get it, and then you're told you don't. Wait. And this also works vice versa. When you have experts telling you you have something, then you get it, and then you're told you don't, and it puts you in a whirlwind.
Right. I think he's talking. I did a 46p roll, and I said, this is a double die, and it turned out to be working hub doubling. So it come back and it wasn't the double die.
Well,
I think that's
experts make mistakes. Grading companies make mistakes way too often.
Which we're going to be talking about next.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah. That being said, there were double dies in that roll, just not every coin.
Okay, but here's the biggest issue with that. The biggest thing that I'm talking about, that did not cost anybody a dime. That mistake cost nobody anything. So if you are, so here's how a true expert would handle things.
No, all right. He says it wasn't that.
Okay. Well, here's how a true expert would handle stuff like that. If you think that your answer has the potential to either cost a buyer or a seller any amount of money, and you are not 100% sure in your answer, then that expert will get other experts' opinions. They will not let you rely on their opinion only. No, nobody who is actually an educator will ever let you rely on their opinion only if they are not 100% certain of their answer.
That, and like I get a lot of pictures and people say, what is this? Sometimes I can't sell because a lot of people don't take good pictures.
Right.
And you have to say, hey, I'm not sure about this, but this is what I think I see. I would like to look at the coin in person or in hand, or have you said, if you know somebody there that's an expert in your area, show them this coin in person. Most people that are involved in this have no problem taking a look at a coin. And I get pictures, like I say, every day. Is this an RPM? And it's just like, wow, I can't even barely see the mint mark on the photo. So,
well, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. So, kin of mine says, well, I have two different bottles for my coins. One's regular, and the other one's there's something going on bottle.
Yeah,
your mind's eye will know something's not right, and you may not have the knowledge or the whereabouts to be able to identify what that is. So just set it aside, right? If it's a coin that's in really, really, really nice shape, I've set one aside here, and my hands are dry as dust, so there's nothing to worry about. To 1958, I was looking at a couple of them this morning. Didn't think anything of it. Looked kind of weird, so I set it aside. Went, grabbed some water, came back out, looked at it again, put it under the scope, and I'm like, oh, it's an RPM. I don't know which one it is. I need to look it up and see if I can figure it out. But I just knew it didn't look right. I just wasn't seeing it. But there was something that told me it wasn't right. So now I look back at it. Oh, now I need to go back and look at copper coins and see if I can figure out which RPM it is. I haven't done that yet. So your mind, if you look at enough stuff over and over again, you'll find out what's normal, and your mind will tell you something different.
Your first impression is usually right.
Yeah. Coins after dark, multiple people looking at a coin is fine. as long as it's people that know what they're talking about. You can get a group of people that can convince each other of something that, I'm trying to say this nicely. If you guys have a better way of saying it, chime in here. But it's not always good to have multiple people looking.
That's right, because sometimes people disagree and they're not wrong.
The word for that is groupthink.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. It's very easy to fall into, oh, I can see that. Oh, okay, I can see that. I got that.
All the time.
Groupthink is why the Challenger disaster occurred. Because even though people knew that there were some issues, they're like, I can agree. I can accept that. That's fine. And it's not that they were being dismissive about it. It's that as people who were quote unquote the experts talked about it more and more and more and more and more, they identified that there were people with legitimate concerns that because the group was speaking didn't say, hey, I disagree. So sometimes being in a group is not a good thing. You have to have a devil's advocate. You have to have somebody in that group who is willing to sacrifice their likability to say, I'm sorry, that's not right. And you need those in every group. You need to appoint somebody in that group who, in our case, it's going to be Paula. I'm sorry, I love you.
I'm telling you, no.
But you have to have somebody in the group who's willing to step aside and say, that's not correct. I'm sorry, I'm not seeing that. No, and you have to be okay with that person telling you, well, you just don't understand. Now, Paula knows we were working with something the other day. I called something out and I was told, I know it's hard for you to understand. But that's not how it works. And they were wrong. They were blatantly wrong. But it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's our responsibility to at least speak up and say something. I'm not going to fight somebody over it, but I am going to say, hey, we're not going to address that. So be careful with groupthink. Facebook is horrible for it, but any group, doesn't matter whether it's on YouTube, and it can even be in a good community of people. So be careful with groupthink. Groupthink is it's a serious problem. And if you want to know a good book on groupthink, look up Irving Janis. Irving Janis is a brilliant author, breaks it down, and you can look up Simon Sinek as well. Two amazing authors that can talk about groupthink. But Irving Janis is the one who coined it and broke down the Challenger disaster. It's a brilliant breakdown of what happens to groupthink.
Coins After Dark. That has to be Eric Maith.
It is.
All right.
Yeah. It is.
All these people changing their name.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
You can't just be sneaky and sneak in here and
Oh no, yeah, you guys can sneak on in here, sneak in here with other accounts and subscribe and like and talk, and you're fine.
Yeah, subscribe with them. Make sure you subscribe with them. But
yeah, Robert Pentoff. Paula is a great choice for that. Paula has, but here's the thing with Paula, and we'll kind of talk about the other part of our morning conversation if we can do that. Paula has two rules. Okay. And that is, if you know something's wrong, you have a requirement, a due diligence to say something. Mm-hmm. But Paula will never, ever, 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 and she talked about this morning, she's doubling down on this again. She will never tell somebody whether they do or do not have to buy something or whether they should or should not sell something.
Not anymore.
She's absolutely refraining from that.
Yep.
It's a pretty decent policy when you are a consultant.
Did you say it was a policy?
She's made it a policy.
Yeah.
No, I'm not kidding you. She has made it a policy.
Not policy.
I will not publicly as a policy.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, she's made it her own policy. Now it's hers. It isn't a live coin Q&A thing. It's her.
Yet, Paula.
But
I think the biggest reason I'm doing that, I used to have a different philosophy. I used to think I'm an educator, and as an educator, I have a responsibility to tell you guys when I think that you're wasting your money. The problem with that is I have come to realize there are a few people who appreciate that.
I just got that, Eric. Sorry.
There are a lot more people who get stuck on that and once I say that, they no longer will listen to anything else I say because they get obsessed with me telling them how to spend their money. That's how they see it. They see it as I'm telling them how to spend their money, or I'm telling people how they can spend their money. And that's not at all my objective. My objective is to teach you how to what are good purchases and what
make
are
the decision what to buy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I have not found a good way to do that yet. So it is better for me just to leave that out of my curriculum.
But there's another factor here, and I know you know this, Paul, and I don't mean to talk over you, and I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Oh, can I record? It is being recorded. I'm going to play that back to my wife. Paula said I'm fine. There is a added benefit for Paula not to accept a purchase of a coin or to recommend the purchase or the selling of a coin, because it shows people that she's not trying to manipulate somebody to get it.
Right.
So what do I mean by that? I'm trying to say this to where I don't frustrate or upset anybody who's a seller, because it's my intent is not this, but it's all too common. You hear the stories. Well, it's just a coin shop trying to rip me off.
Mm-hmm.
I will not sell or buy anything from somebody. Now, if I know somebody, so vote for Pedro. You still in here? Apology. Yeah, policy. God, Eric, I laughed my butt off just a second ago. I just realized policy. I was a little lagging this morning. Because it was a policy. Yeah. Anyway, now that's going to be stuck in my head. But you hear that all the time. Oh, the coin show is just trying to rip me off. But it's okay. Vote for Pedro's in here. If Vote for Pedro said, hey, Frosty, I know you've been looking for an upgrade on a 1921 peace dollar for your book. I have one. I know yours is extra fine. This one is AU. You're good. This is, I believe it's to be AU. I'm going to say I believe it to be AU. Can you look at it? And if so, I'll go ahead and offer it to you, but it's totally up to you. Then I'm going to, work with them. I trust Pedro. I know 21 peace dollars are one of his vices. And so if he tells me it's AU, I'm going to look at it, obviously, but I'm going to trust him because it's something that I'm going to do. But I'm not going to take, if there's somebody in here that I don't know and they say, hey, I know you like 21 peace dollars. I have one I want to sell you. I'm like, number one, don't ask me the grade. Don't ask me to do that. I'm not the person for it. Number two, if we want to do that, we're going to do it under the construct that it's not me telling you what it's worth, what the value is. I'm not telling you a grade. I'm not going to try to cheat you. You're going to get that information from somebody else. We are going to have a three-way conversation. We're going to discuss this. That third party, not privy to me, not privy to you, is going to look at that. They'll make an assessment of that. We can have a conversation. We can do that. But it's never going to be me telling you a grade. It's never going to be me telling you something. And because what I don't want to do is I don't want to ever impugn my inability to be separate of my opinion. Because if I tell you it's worth something and then I turn around and tell you, oh, by the way, that's only extra fine, I'll buy it from you at the extra fine price. If I come back and I get that, next thing you know, you see me doing a video on an MS62 21 peace dollar, you're going to go, you ripped me off. And that challenges my credibility. So I really respect why Paula does this. It's very hard for people to do. Again, Paula is my mentor, and I say this not because I'm trying to kiss up to her, but Paula is extremely knowledgeable, and I think it's an extremely good thing to do. I think it is very hard for a coin shop owner to say, I think that's XF, because they're like, hey, you're just trying to rip me off. I know this. My buddy told me this is a 64. Well, what does your buddy do? I don't know. He's unemployed right now. Does he collect coins? Nobody collects baseball cards. It's a 9. He told me it was a 9. What does that, what does that mean? So be careful with that. And I'm not knocking coin show collectors. I'm not coin shops. Eric used to own a coin shop. So I'm not knocking folks that do that. I'm just saying it's very difficult for them to be in that position. So when somebody like Paula comes back and says, I'm not interested in buying it, there's a reason she's doing that. And it's legitimacy, right? You want to make sure that you maintain that legitimacy. So I respect that.
And with those questions, like the 82D small date, that is usually the comeback. They'll say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're trying to rip me off because you want to buy it. And it's like, dude, I don't want to buy anything that you
And
buy.
That's the thing. What I told Ken, I said, you can tell really quickly who are the ones that you want to spend more time with and who are the ones that just want to make a quick buck and they saw a little clickbait video and that's all they care about, nothing else. You can tell that when you've been doing this long enough, you can tell who are the ones that you really want to spend more time with. So yeah, it's just a matter of, you just have to be careful not to be dismissive. I got that way for a while.
It's hard on Facebook. It's hard.
It's really hard. And you know that. And actually, I'm usually pretty patient and people will have to push me pretty far, but then I start playing with them. I don't usually let them get away with once they've crossed a line with me, then I kind of play with them a little bit. That's what, and Eric likes to watch that when that happens.
I used to. It doesn't happen too much anymore.
It doesn't happen very well, and I'm in a lot less groups now.
Yeah, and that's good.
I was about to say, the level of opportunities has decreased.
Yeah, and that's why I don't participate much in Facebook unless it's something that hasn't been answered, and it's in. I mean, like I monitor maybe 3 groups. And those 3 groups, actually, you don't get questions like that for the most part. Yeah. I don't answer anything on Facebook. Most people that have questions know my email and they email me. And that's what I'm saying. Facebook, you got to be careful with the information. It's like getting your news on Facebook. It's just not a good idea. Not that there's great news sources available, but everyone is better than Facebook.
So Robert Pintoff just issued you a very nice compliment. It says, Paula is very maternal. Looking at her opinion from that point of view, you should interpret it as her advice positively. And that's fact. She is here to protect the community. She loves this hobby. She loves the people in this hobby. Well, most of them. And really is just about making sure we have good, solid information. But I would say the 3 of us carry that same thing. I think one of us, this is the reason the 3 of us are friends. But I want to get to Paula's second rule, and that is never get into a quick conversation with Ken Peavy.
Never. You mean Potter.
Potter. Ken Potter. Sorry.
There is no such thing as a quick conversation with Ken Potter.
Well, you just mentioned his name. But again, so folks, it's really important to understand that the people who are trying, really trying to grow this hobby are, even if they have coin shops, and I talk about Coin Show Podcast. This is something that I've probably been watching them for maybe 5 months, Paula, 5-6 months.
I like those guys.
Somewhere in that time frame. Yeah. They talk about stuff, but you never hear them say, you need to come into my coin shop and buy that coin.
Yeah.
You need to come. It's always about, hey, here's the information. Here's what you need to know to do that. If you have any questions, reach out to me. If you're looking for it, reach out to me. Let me know. Mike said, hey, Paula, I know you're looking for a very specific thing. I'll keep my eye out. Right?
Yep.
They will do that for you, but it's not one of these, it's not one of the items to go, hey, here's this coin, come see me if you want it. Here's this coin, come see me if you want it. That's what auctions are for. And that, if people don't understand I want to say this without being disrespectful to anybody who owns a shop or does auctions, because it's not my intent. If people don't know you, they may misjudge your intent. And so even though you're genuinely being honest with them, it'll look like you're trying to goat rope them. So if you're trying to offer just advice, stay free and clear of the purchase or the sell. If you're asked to advise on it and they really want to buy, be very clear with them. If you want to go get other opinions and then come back and sell it to me, I will accept that. But I want you to know you have options. I'm not the only person. And be straightforward with people. Let people understand that you're trying to be good with them. Say, hey, if you want to take it to the coin shop down the street and validate this, if they give you a price, I'll beat it. Or I'll try to beat it. But give people opportunities, give people options, show integrity. Integrity above all else.
I got into a pickle one time. One of our viewers had sent us an email. She said, so she had found an 83 DDR. It was a great coin. Not super high grade or anything, but probably AU. It was a great coin. I mean, that's just a great double die, right? Well, she sent us an email. Hey, I listed it on eBay. I haven't had any bids on it. What's going on? And so I went in there, and it was the only thing she had listed. She had nothing else listed. She was a brand new seller on eBay. So I threw a bid in there, and it was a good bid. It was a decent bid. I threw a bid in there and ended up winning it. Nobody else had bid on it. I actually thought, well, one of two things is going to happen here. Either this bid is going to stick and I'm going to win the coin and she's going to get a decent price because I put in a decent bid, or somebody will come in and see that somebody else is bidding on that coin and they'll decide to bid, because oftentimes people won't bid on something that nobody else is bidding on. So, well, the first of those two scenarios happened. So I went back in and I told her in the email, I said, hey, that was me that won that coin. I put in the bid and this is why I did it, and she canceled the sale. She canceled the sale. She got very upset with me. She said it was very unethical of me to do that I was trying to steal the coin out from under her, that she talked to somebody and they said that she could get a lot more money. Well, she couldn't get a lot more money from that coin. I gave her over gray sheet. And my bid was over gray sheet on that. My only bid was over gray sheet on that coin. And
was it raw?
It was raw.
Then gray sheet, I mean, you're giving her a generous bid then.
I did. I gave her a generous bid. It wasn't super over, nothing like that. It wasn't like, it was a decent price. I would not have got the coin graded. So anyway, so she said, well, I'm just going to get the coin graded and da, 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 da. And she unsubscribed. She said, I'm unsubscribing to you guys. I thought more of you and blah, blah. So that was the first and last time I ever did that with any of our viewers. Yeah, it was not a pleasant experience for me. So I thought I was helping her out. She took it the wrong way. What are you going to do? So,
well, you can't. There's not much you can do in that situation. All you can do is hope that it doesn't destroy the the relationship.
Yeah.
But here again, this is where, Pedro, integrity first, right? Integrity above all else is essential. It's the cornerstone for all endeavors, even at the cost of upsetting others. That's what makes the show so good. I appreciate that comment, Pedro, because Eric wasn't military, but Paul and I were both military, and our core values, even though we were in different services, integrity's first.
That should be everybody's core value.
Yeah. Say again?
That should be everybody's. That was my father. Yeah. That was his, and he wasn't military either. His family was a lot of military, but that was his core value. He just wanted integrity and respect. That's it.
Yeah. The only thing we own in this world is our name.
Yep. It was very easy to be his kid because I learned real quick that that's all I had to do.
Well, I tell people all the time, be careful what you do in this hobby because it is a small hobby and word gets around fast. And it is very easy to ruin your reputation in this hobby.
That, and remember, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
Have fun. Yeah, that's key too. Have fun.
Well, some people legitimately get into this hobby to make it a business. And that's fine.
What we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's that,
and those are the dealers that you take the coin into and they don't have a clue. Like you said, there's articles in Coin World. They don't open Coin World. They got it on their counter for somebody else.
Right. Yeah, they're also the ones that go, I've been in this business, I've been in this hobby for 50 years and I know what is what. And okay.
So there's the old adage, you guys, and I'm sorry, I've been moving around a lot. I haven't been sitting.
And you probably still read Spadone.
How many of you have heard the old selling adage that if somebody says, trust me, beware? Right.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, again, if somebody says, well, I'm an expert in this and I know that, those are flags, folks. Right. And again, if you ever have somebody tell you that you have something, go get a second opinion. If you ever have somebody that says you don't have something, go get a second opinion. Cultivate multiple points of view, but do it from people who have your best interest at heart, not theirs. So find people who really want to find good, solid information. They want to help the community. They want to help you, and stick with those folks. And as Paula said, we talked about this before. People will make mistakes, and I mean, good grief. I posted a video 4 days ago, and Paula said there's something wrong with it. I deleted it and posted another one with the correct information because what did I say? I misspoke something. And it wasn't minted or printed.
Was it the overdate?
Oh, it wasn't an overdate. It was actually a double die.
It was inverted.
The 42 over 41.
Well, that is a double die, but no, it was the 81 over.
Oh, no. I remember what it was. It was the 1883 over 1336. 1886 over 1336. And it wasn't an overdate. It was somebody carved the 8 out of the 3.
Right. It was the engraver.
And I just didn't know that piece. I just really didn't know that. So she corrected me on it. I took that video down and I put the other one up there and retracted the other video. Sent the person who had asked the question and said, I didn't realize this piece. I had the article in front of me. I just missed the piece where it was the engraving. So, I mean, we make mistakes and that's fine. Again, it happens. But if I were to double down on that and be like, Paula, you're wrong, that would have been a bad thing. Right. So
you guys have an opportunity in this hobby that many people don't. You have access to absolutely free education and you know where to find it. Education is absolutely free. Well, not just me. There's lots. We give you guys so the ANA has a YouTube channel. Gray Sheet Whitman now has a YouTube channel. The Coin Show podcast, Copper Coins. There are multiple good sources of information, education out there. And you guys know them. So you have that benefit. And this free education that you guys get can make you money.
Yeah.
If you take the time and learn, it will make you a better collector. It will give you more opportunity to know what you're buying, everything. It will just make you better all around in this hobby. If you just take a little bit of time, spend a little bit of time and watch these educational channels, it really will do you a lot of good in this hobby. But that all goes back to, what do you want out of the hobby? What do you want? It's your hobby to do with what you want. What do you want out of the hobby? Do you just want to have fun and pick wheat cents out of boxes and search for wheat cents in boxes and whatever? Then that's fine. That's what you have fun doing. Do it, right? Well, I'm not saying anything about that.
No, you do it to have fun, right? So yes, by all means.
Do it to have fun. There are a lot of people that are out there that think they know a lot more than they know, or want you to think they know more than they actually know. And that's all I'll say about that. Just be selective. Be selective. Every once in a while, don't take someone's word for it. If you're watching a channel and they're telling you, hey, this coin is this and blah, 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 pick their brain a bit. Ask them some questions about it and see how much they really know. Don't just take their word for it. Say, hey, so you say that is this error. How did that happen?
It's a good question.
And then, and I can tell you that all you have to do, Google in a lot of cases is your friend. All you have to do is go to some of the resources that we have told you about and type in off center strike or struck on a dime, planchet or whatever, and check what they say. See if what they say actually matches what you are finding in your search. You have the ability to see if the people that you are watching actually know what they are talking about. You actually have the ability to do that.
Yep.
If you ever are watching someone and they say, hey, this is such and such or whatever, and you aren't sure that their information is correct, by all means, shoot me an email or Frostbyte or Eric, or shoot us your question. Say, hey, is this true? Is this right?
Hey, Robert Pintoff dropped a $20 super chat. Thank you for the time and all you contribute to educate folks. Thanks, Robert Pintoff. I appreciate that, bud. Thank you. Sorry, Paula.
It's okay.
That was a $20 super chat. I got to call that out.
Selling error coins or selling variety coins and not knowing anything about them. If they are slabbed and they're selling them and they say, hey, I've got this off center, it's for sale, yada, yada, yada. It's graded by PCGS. Everything pretty much you need to know is on that label of that slab. Now, grading companies are wrong sometimes, but for the most part, what you need to know is on that slab. so there's nothing wrong with that. But when they try to tell you that they know what something is, or they're experts at something or whatever, and they can't tell you how it happened, be leery.
We had that happen the other day. Paula and
I actually had, there is actually somebody that was just mentioned not too long ago that showed an actual error coin and said it was damaged, and it was not a damaged coin. It was an actual error coin. So,
and there's another thing. Different experts have more expertise in different areas.
That's right.
Yeah. And I've said this a number of times. If I'm going to be talking about scents, obviously I'm going to Eric and Chuck. If I'm going to be talking about anything exonumia or like elongated scents or something like that, I'm definitely going to be going to Paula. If I'm looking at 3 cent, say again.
She's really sharp on error coins.
Yeah, really good on errors. If I'm going to be looking at 2 cent pieces, or if I'm going to be looking at things like that, Shay Hoffmaster, right? If I'm going to be looking at Canadian stuff, I'm going to actually be calling Coin Junkie. These people who have a desire to learn and have like really dug in. I won't ask anybody about ancients but Aaron Burke. Just won't happen. Doesn't matter, because he's the man to go to. He's the expert. And even he'd be like, yeah, whatever. Don't call me that. But the people who really know, if I'm looking, and I've sent, I think Jack is probably frustrated that I actually have his email address. Because I've sent him so many pictures. And he's always nice about it. Thank you for the photo. Thank you for this. And I sent him one the other day and he was like, wow, haven't seen that one for a while. Thanks for this. Like, where did you see this? And he was genuinely curious about what's going on. So when you ask questions, you might invigorate something in somebody. You might actually give a piece of information to somebody about something, especially when you're talking about fake coins. Where did you have it? What video did you see it in? What's the name of the seller? Like, because that's how we combat the misinformation. Yeah. Say again?
Oh my gosh. He said, stop sending me feet pics, you weirdo.
Who said that?
Yaksnab. Oh my gosh. Stop it.
Hey, I sent Angry Warrior a man boob pic. Because he did a moob pic. Yeah, he was trying to joke.
Azure Blues Stella for a minute. Holy cow!
Yeah, so there's a number of people that, and there are some people I actually need to work with a couple of people and see if I can't get people. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who just don't like to do live streams. They're okay in doing videos, but they're not okay doing live streams. So I would have to have a topic, do that offline and have conversations with them. But like Jack Young, I was doing a thing with Tiger talking about gold, pre-33 gold. And I said, hey, one of the common misnomers I hear is just because it's slabbed means it's authentic. I need to debunk that. Can you send me a couple really nice counterfeit slabs that are, like nice ones that are really hard for people to identify? And within 15 minutes, he sent me 3 or 4 really amazing quality photos. And I was able to share that. And I'm like, if you want to know more about this, research Jack Young. And there were a number of people who were like, what's that? Say again?
Wait till you see my next interview with him.
Yeah, and so there are some amazing things. Yep. But these people are here to help the community. They genuinely want to see you do well. And when something happens and somebody in the community, AZ knows this, when somebody in the community has something happen that's unfortunate, it's like, okay, now, how do we get you the information? How do we help make sure this doesn't do it again? And how can we help utilize this to share with others so they don't make the mistake? And so don't be upset if you make a mistake with purchasing something that's not right. Had a good friend of mine call me the other day and say, "Hey, how do you refute a purchase? I purchased a gold coin and it's not gold." And I'm walking through the process and I'm like, "How did you pay for it?" It's like, "Well, I paid for Cash App." Like, "Well, check with Cash App, see if they can reverse the thing, talk with your people, go through it." He ended up not being able to do it. And I was like, "Well, how much did you spend for it?" He's like, $108. And I was like, "What size is it?" He's like, "It's a 10th ounce. I'm like, "The 10th ounce gold for $108?
Red flag.
Yeah, it's not even close. What made you think this was? It's like, "Well, it's in a slab." It's like, no, it's not. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real. And so again, right? It's talk with multiple people and please make sure that, hey, Blue Ridge Silverhound with a $20 super chat. Thanks, Sean.
He must be in portrait. I don't see him.
He is on portrait. He came in. Thanks, bud. Yeah, but there's so many people that I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate that, Sean. Thank you so much. And again, right? He just throws himself up there. I'll call him out. If you're going to buy from people like this who know what the hell they're selling. Right? Now, I will say this, okay? I have to be careful in whatnot because I overspent. Because it happens like this. Yeah, and you can get good deals, but you can also overspend really, really quickly.
Yeah, it can be up $5 and then be up $45 before the button.
Real fast if you're not paying attention. So there are features on there to understand how to set your limits and do stuff. Be familiar with that. But if there's like Adam is another good one. If you're going to be shopping on Whatnot, have good, solid people that you can go to. But yeah, Whatnot's crack. That's true. But again, make sure you understand who you're working with and stuff. But I don't mind going and checking out stuff, but I have to be careful because you can overspend real fast. Yeah, but thanks, Sean. I appreciate you a ton.
In chat should ask some questions. Like we've been talking, rambling on here and stuff like that. You guys should ask some questions.
That's always good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I'll be right back.
Hey, Sean. No, I won't put you on the spot. Never mind. I'll send you an email. I'm going to ask him if he'd like to come up on the show, but I won't do that publicly. He's like, "Dude, you suck." Steve LaPointe. I'm not a fan of Whatnot. Whatnot has its advantages in that it's very fast paced. You can turn over a lot of product really quickly. But there are some things you need to be careful with Whatnot. Number one, actually, Sean can put stuff in chat and I can copy it across and put it in the other one. From a standpoint of selling, Whatnot is good because it's paid. So you put your payment stuff on there. As soon as you do it, you immediately get paid. But it is very fast paced and you have to make sure that you're watching it. So it's really important. I'll send you an email, Sean, and have you up. We'll talk about some specific items. I definitely appreciate you. We'll have plenty of notice. We'll work something out. Thanks, bud. But one thing you really have to be careful with Whatnot is, number one, make sure you have a seller who's legitimate and knows what they're talking about. You can find a lot of them. They're out there. Not everybody on Whatnot's a fake or a scammer. But you have to do your due diligence. If you're going to be there for a specific coin, know the coin. Know what you're looking for. You also need to understand that the angle of a coin in relation to a camera will hide a lot of stuff. This is the Popeye coin. And if I tilt this certain ways, you'll see different things show up in a coin. I can correct my light to actually hide inclusions on the coin. So you need to know exactly what you're looking for. You need to be able to ask questions. You need to be able to know what it is that you're looking for. You need to be able to identify if a date on a coin is good, right? If you see a 1959 wheat cent and it's going for $25, you probably got a problem, right? Considering there's only one and there are questions about the authenticity of that one. Sean says, when you go to shop on Whatnot, have a general idea of what you want. Yeah, exactly. It's very Wild West. So don't just buy stuff because you got sucked up into the excitement. Yeah, definitely can get into trouble. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. Just validates that from somebody who's a seller on Whatnot, right? Now, if you want to get lost in the Wild West aspect of it, you want to overspend, and that's your call. You want to support the channel, that's fine. But remember, just because that's what you want to, that's what you spent, doesn't mean that's what it's worth. Right? We've talked about that a number of times. So remember the difference between value versus worth. Okay. So,
well, I will tell you, I will just give you some advice. Be very selective who you are buying from on there. Because I used to be a huge Whatnot fan in the very beginning, because they were really good about vetting the people that were selling on there. And it is a free-for-all now.
It is.
And there are some terrible sellers on
Too
there.
much gameplay, too.
Very careful.
Grandma. Too much gameplay. Azor has the question. Is anybody on the panel or in the chat buying anything from the U.S. Mint offerings this year? If so, why? Probably not me.
So I'm going to key in on something that Daryl said. I canceled all my subscriptions from the Mint. I did too, but I did it for a different reason. I did it because they couldn't get my account fixed. It just was not, it just didn't work for me. I was getting frustrated that other people would be able to buy stuff, and then I would go and it would tell me that they were out of stock. And 10 minutes later, somebody would contact me and say, I just purchased it. I had to go to other people in here. One person in particular is me, to purchase coins because I couldn't do it. It was always telling me that they're out of stock, even when there were large numbers of them available. So I just got rid of the system and said, I'm done. When they did the metal, I tried to set up my account again, and I continued to have problems with it. It's most likely something with my account. I just said, I'm done. But there are a couple of things coming from the Mint, and I want to go back up to the innovation piece. There's a couple innovation dollars that I really like, especially the Space and the NASA Shipcoin ones. They're pretty good looking. So I will be buying them, but I will not be buying them from the Mint. I will wait till Sean throws them up on Whatnot or somebody else has them, and I will go ahead and go ahead and do that. I need to reboot my PC.
Well, I buy this is last year, the women's quarter, so I'm finishing those up because I buy the 3-roll set and a bag of Philadelphia minted of each one. So I have that. I buy the proof, the clad proof, silver proof, and uncirculated sets, and that's it. Next year will be a free-for-all. I will definitely be buying stuff next year.
I think I'll be buying stuff from the Mint next year too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, if you guys are not on signed up for some of the subscriptions, you may want to go in there and do it now, because things are going to sell out fast next year. So if there is something that comes up that you see that you're going to want. Okay, you guys stop. I'm going to tell you right now, you may want to sign up for the proof sets and the uncirculated sets, if nothing else. You don't have to, you can turn the subscription off and then turn it back on. You have that option. So you don't have to buy it this year, but I would go in and subscribe to it. Because I think those are going to sell out fast.
Semi-quincentennial, Daryl.
Yep.
It is
semi-quincentennial, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
There's a whole new series of coins that are going to be out just for 2026. Go look it up. We can, matter of fact, we can pull some stuff up on it tomorrow. We can have a conversation on the semi-quincentennial items and the things that are there.
I already spent too much money on coins.
No, really?
Yeah.
And you were going to be, you guys are going.
I just spent $1,000 during this broadcast.
Oh, geez. Did you see all those rolls that Adam bought?
I did. I just bought a bunch of rolls. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Nice.
He found some really good stuff, didn't he, recently?
Yes. He's found 38S RPM 1, 2, and 3. 52 D or 1MM15 or I think it's RPM 16 with the D in the vest and on the nose. That's a sweet coin, and I think he found more than 10 of them.
Wow.
He'll do well on that one.
Yeah, vote for Pedro.
This year they have 3 ASCs coming out towards the end of the year. That I said you have to be quiet. They have 3 ASCs coming out towards the end of the year that will have Army, Navy, and Marine, I think, privies. I believe it's the Army, Navy, and Marine privies on the ASCs. So there has not been a lot of talk about that. I won't be buying them because I could care less about little extra privies.
It'll be interesting to see how they go, what direction they go with privies. I have a feeling they're going to privy.
They're going to go crazy and they're going to wreck it. They're going to ruin a good thing because they're going to go nuts with them.
Well, that was weird. I did the winner command and it never gave me a winner. That's funny.
Yeah, it'll be, you guys will next year in your change, you'll notice a change.
If they make
dime, the quarter, the dime and the quarter.
Outstanding.
Will not be Roosevelt and Washington.
Kennedy also, right? Or is it just
and the Kennedy? Yeah, but that's not, you don't get that really in change.
Right.
So the dime and the quarter won't have Roosevelt or Washington on it. And the Lincoln cent and the nickel will have a dual date.
So Blue Ridge won the poker chip.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah, that's funny. And so send me an email, Sean, and I'll send you out one of the poker chips and my sticker. So congrats.
2.5 ounce silver Space Force medal. I would love that.
They haven't come out with that yet, have they, Azure? I don't think they've done anything for the Space Force yet.
Say again?
I don't think they've done anything for the Space Force.
They did, and it's out of this world. You know what? NASA's creating a new restaurant on the moon. Did you know that?
What?
NASA is creating a new restaurant on the moon.
Oh.
It's supposed to be good food, but the atmosphere sucks. She's like, please, that's not even funny. I only shop copper coins and ghouls. Yeah, Adam is good. They get all my penny money.
Adam got
Dan sells a lot of things.
Well, Farm Dog, Adam got it, but Farm Dog is responsible for Adam getting me a challenge coin in at the last Baltimore, right? Yeah.
I told you that I was able to acquire that ANA coin, right?
The ANA coin.
The one coin that they did from Baltimore.
Yeah, you did. Yes.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was very pleased to get that one.
Yeah, I missed out on that one.
Let's give away one more poker chip.
Poker chip.
We'll do this one on the vertical. Robert Bruce, Congratulations. Send me an email.
Let's see my fingernails.
They were pretty. I saw them last time.
And I'll send you out a new poker chip.
No. Don't judge me. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt.
Yeah. No. That.
Robert Pintoff. I hear they will be replaced with the Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah, Trump, and Biden rounds. Oh, Lord,
what?
please, no.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible.
My granddaughter's got a big old shiner.
Uh-oh.
They have a little playground at church, and they have like this airplane, and she was booking it, and she ran right into the wing of the airplane, cut her eye.
Oh,
and
ouch.
She's got a big old shiner. Yep. It like, have you ever like seen people clothesline people?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was like. It was like she was clotheslined. She just kind of, her feet went out from under her, and
hey,
a big old shiner.
You're supposed to watch that way. You shouldn't run looking down.
Yeah, we'll show her. Hang on, I'll let her show you.
I'm confused. I'm finding two Frostbyte channels. Robert Bruce, I stream both vertical and horizontal. Owie.
Yeah. You got an owie.
She wanted a close-up look at the airplane. It's a little too close, sweetheart. A little too close.
She did.
Hi.
Hi.
Nope, I always look this way.
Why is ours black?
Because there, see?
I got a question for your granddaughter.
Okay.
Do you know who Elsa is?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know why her family could never get through the entire alphabet?
No.
Because her mother and father were lost at sea.
Lost at sea. She's like, I don't get it. Yeah, she's my big girl. She's my curly sis.
Yeah, Robert Bruce, I'm streaming on 2 different channels. I do this every weekend. One is vertical, one is horizontal, so that people can find me either direction.
I was cute when I was a baby.
You are still cute.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her in my knock-knock joke. You want me to tell her a knock-knock joke?
Yeah, tell her.
Okay, tell her to start.
Start.
What?
He's telling you a knock-knock joke. He wants you to start.
I don't know.
Say knock-knock.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
She doesn't know what to do.
She's like, this is a trap. I know it.
It's a trap.
She just got this smile on her face. She's looking at me like, what do I say?
Yeah, that's so funny. No, so that is the joke, sweetheart. So
that is the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no joke. Oh.
It's like, oh, now you can go use that on your friends. Tell them you got a knock-knock joke for you, then have them start.
What was the joke Grandma told you? How many knees do boys have?
3.
That's right. No, 4.
The left knee, the right knee, and the weenie.
The high knee and the weenie.
Oh, the high knee. I forgot about the high knee.
Yeah, there's a good one.
That's correct. Yep.
That's the stuff Grandma teaches her. That's why she's not allowed in my room very often.
Confuse that kid. Yeah, it's all about having fun. Hey, there is one other point, and I had put this in chat as one of the topics for today. I want Paula and Eric to talk about what we were talking about before. Can we talk about the Extra V?
Oh my God.
Oh Lord. I am underimpressed with it.
Well, what I will tell you, for those of you that think it's special, is that there were a ton of them recently found by a single person.
What ton of them?
So they are okay. Shh. They are very common. If you want to own one of them, my suggestion to you, I'm not telling you how to spend your money because I don't do that anymore. My suggestion to you would be wait a little while.
Wait a week.
Yeah. Just wait a little while.
Yeah, my impression is I'm underimpressed. I don't know the actual cause. No. But and people are saying they're finding them on the 2024D now. So
yeah.
That could be absolutely correct. And it looks like it's in a very similar spot, what Ken Potter was saying.
What happened with these extra V's is that a certain person decided it was more important to be first instead of right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they rushed out and wrote an article about it. And this person happens to be someone who is well known and is
influential,
who has a certain amount of credibility. And the grading companies grabbed a hold of that article and decided they can now make money off of it.
Yep. Because
they charged their attribution fee. And people started sending them in to them by the dozens, hundreds, probably, I would say at this point. And it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate thing. Because I have a feeling it's gonna come out that it's some type of post-striking damage.
So I have a question for you regarding that.
Or pre-strike damage, or hub damage, or whatever it is, it's going to end up being so common that just like little die chips and die cracks, it's going to end up being so common that there really isn't going to be any value left. So, okay, hang on. I got to kick these kids out. I'll be right back.
So, Eric, do we even know what caused the extra V? So
we don't. There's all sorts of
this
speculation what it could be. And I do know there is one of them is significantly more prevalent than other two. The other two or other three, I think there's been 4 locations, but you don't hear much about the other 3 locations anymore. That was like right when it first came out. And now I'm seeing that people that are 2024 are finding them on 2024D possibly. I'm not so sure they're real, because I do think that people did try to fake these.
And Eric, that's another problem.
Yeah.
Is that because that is in Cuse on the coin, people have found ways
to make
it create them.
That's right.
Yes.
And I think that is a lot of it. Mm-hmm. Even the other locations. I think the one that's prevalent is happening at the Mint. I'm not certain the other ones. I'm less likely to believe because they're literally one or 2 pieces seen.
And Sean can tell you right out the gate when these first came out, that was one of my concerns.
Mm-hmm. I know that
people were going to be creating them.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to, like Frosty says, the first Minnesota double die reverse.
Yep.
Speared Buffalo Nickels from 2005, I think it is. Mm-hmm. They were crazy, and they really were just a marketing issue.
Yeah. Ken talks about that too.
Yeah. And they still command a little bit of money, but nothing like they did when they first came out.
And some of them are not even doubled dies.
Right. You're right.
So. Yeah, Robert Pintoff, it's always about the money. I've stepped away. Tons of collectors have gotten hurt. Again, when we were talking about this morning prior to coming live, I reminded them of my buddy. We talked about the 2005 Minnesota Extra Trees. And my buddy purchased one back in the day for $1,500. Mm-hmm. And of course, you want to buy first. You want to get out there because if it is in fact a rarity, you want to make sure that you get it. The problem is they kept finding them, and 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 they kept finding them. And you said there's like 200 varieties of that, something like that, Eric?
Oh, between Wexler and Conecuh, probably over 200.
And so the problem is that, yeah, you can find one or two. Now, his is one of the nicer, more collectible of the things. But again, he'll never see that money back ever.
Right.
And that coin's only worth 200, 250 bucks.
Why did I close my coin store? Well, it wasn't so much a store. It was a business. I bought a lot of estates and stuff like that. But the reason I actually did it was because of the silver spike in 2007. And ultimately, I like to do this for a hobby. And the last 3 years I had the business open. I didn't get to enjoy the hobby. All I was doing was buying stuff, working the orders up, trying to get rid of the stuff. So it wasn't fun. It was work. And when something you enjoy turns into work, like I like to work to do something that I enjoy, but I was doing something that was work and I didn't get to enjoy it because I was too busy. And then when silver started spiking up, most of the silver I bought for $3 an ounce. It was prevalent, $3.45, $3.60. It always went into the $3 and $4 range. All of a sudden, silver spikes to $50 an ounce, and people still want to sell it. Well, a lot of coin dealers back then, they got buried in debt. And I made the decision that I wasn't going to get buried in debt. And I just closed it, and my life became happy again. I got to start enjoying what I did, looking for RPMs and double dice. And that was the reason. And then I've just never had the desire to ruin my life like that again.
Owning a coin shop is no joke. There's a lot of work, a lot of overhead.
It ultimately was buying and selling silver and gold, and that wasn't the part of numismatics that I enjoyed. I'm kind of a specific niche in the hobby. I collect RPMs and variety coins. Other coins, if I have them, I just have them. I don't buy them because I collect them. Burnout is a real thing. And that's actually what it was, is I was buying and selling so much stuff that I couldn't enjoy what I was doing.
Yeah. And again, remember, this is a hobby and you can make money doing it. But you have to have a realistic expectation of what that means. In terms of investment turnaround, you can't beat finding a 1958 RPM number 3, finding the penny, and then turning around and being able to sell it for $20. That's a 2,000% profit. But a lot of people go, man, the time you have to spend to sell it and everything else, again, is it worth it? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Should we grade it? In most cases, if you have to ask the question, the answer is no.
No reliable coin business will pay spot for anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to spend under because they have to have, there's a profit margin that has to be met.
Electricity, help, all these bills to pay. So buying it for what it spots for, you have to have margins. You sell it for over spot, you buy it for under spot. I know that doesn't sound fair, but they got a business to run too. They can't just make no profit on everything.
Well, and that's why it's important to build a relationship. But just because you build a relationship with your coin shop doesn't mean you can try to take advantage of them. They have a business to run, and you need to remember that. So
right.
It's just like if you owned a bar, you wouldn't want your friends bringing people in and expecting free drinks, right? That's a lot of money out the window. So it's important that you treat, shop owners and business owners with a level of respect. Now, those that can work outside of a non-coin shop, again, I don't do any of it. Magnuson, I don't buy, I buy and I only sell if I'm trying to upgrade something. So I'll work with people to sell 2 or 3 coins in order to upgrade a coin, but I don't sell. I don't enjoy that. I would rather do education. I like learning about something and then sharing that information. Dan McCumber, are you still here? He was giving me a hard time about why would I do a video on this coin? You'll never be able to afford it.
That is right, like, Invisible River.
Because it's a $3 million coin and it's badass. That's why. But yeah, I mean, I'm not turning things over. So no, I don't do that. But what I do like to do is I like to make sure people have good information. And I just like learning. And so it's really important. Yeah, Dan's here. And it's really important to look at it and go, you know, somebody's like, well, that was foolish. And I'm like, no, it's not foolish. It's a good question. If you're looking for coins, you need pertinent information now. And most of the time we try to provide pertinent information now, but I like numismatics. I like the oddities, the rarities. I'm doing a video right now on 10 coins over $1 million, but it's not going to end with a 55 double die. It's not going to end with the 43 copper. It's not going to end with the 82D. It's not going to end with the St. Gaudens double legal 1933. It's not going to be those coins.
Make sure you tell people they're not going to find it in their pocket change.
Right.
They're rarities. But again, why am I doing this? Because they're cool coins. There's a lot of amazing history out there.
All the time.
And that's why.
Yeah. And that one, I think we're going to put that on copper coins because there's very specific die markers for that.
Oh, there certainly are.
Make it easier because we haven't gotten that one in a while. I used to get that one frequently. I found a 64 SMS.
It comes along with the clickbait video.
Yeah, I guess it comes in spurts.
It does. It comes in spurts. It will come, and as soon as hang on. Okay,
Sorry about that. It was a whatever.
What was that?
Nothing. That was an accident, and it turned out to be kind of funny to me.
I always want to learn about coins. Yeah, there's Robert Bruce. That's the whole premise of this first part of today's discussion was, what do we do to provide better information for you? What do you want to see? Because there is no way that a handful of us can increase or decrease the amount of BS that's out there. There's so much bad information out there. There's no way we can make a dent in it.
Yeah, so they're outnumbering the videos probably 10 or 20 or 30 to 1. I don't watch many of them, so I actually don't know how many are out there.
Yeah, I would say hundreds to 1 because there are people putting out channels with 50, 60, 70 videos, and they're doing it the same video with different color patterns and different motions, but they're the same video, and they're creating 4, 5, 6 shadow channels, and they're producing the same videos across those. And they're utilizing AI to change up and put different animations on there. So we're talking hundreds of fake videos to every good one. Stack Ann, what's up? Good to see you this morning.
Well, and YouTube doesn't care because as long as people are subscribing and clicking on those videos, their ads are being shown. So they're the more the merrier. They just don't care.
Well, and one of the issues is the more information that goes out there, the more bad information, the more these bots are picking up that bad information, and the distribution of bad information is getting worse. At what point do we identify and resolve that? They've asked me, hey, do you want to allow people to use your videos for AI learning? Like, no. But am I doing a disservice? But if I share all the information, now people will have all my information. I don't mind sharing it.
How come they never asked me that?
They probably already know your answer.
Oh, really?
Your name probably comes up highlighted in yellow and red. Careful, she's a mean one.
82D that I found last year. See, yep. Robert Bruce has a question. You always ask about that 82D, Robert Bruce.
It's not the right one.
You ain't gonna find it.
Yeah.
Don't stop looking. But yeah, the chances of finding it, There's not many coins that you will.
So, Robert, the key is if it's not a small date, it doesn't matter the weight.
Use that time that you spend looking for that unicorn, looking for
all
other
sorts of
stuff.
Yeah, if it's not a small date, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
That's like the $50 hunters. We found a 71 DDO number 1. And it's like, man, there's a way better one to look for. Look for that one too. And they don't. And I don't understand it. There's so much stuff to look for, and they just don't look for it.
Man, the one that you showed wasn't last week. It was the week before.
Yeah, the one
that had the quadruple.
That
was a beautiful piece. And that was on what, a 60?
That was a 64, but
64.
All that box is put away. But there's it's FS5 or 102. 102, yeah.
Hey, Invisible River Ranch, anything ever happen with that overdate?
That's a great song.
I'm not saying anything more. I'm just curious if anything ever happened with that.
Invisible's listing some really good songs, though.
Yeah. YouTube algorithms.
Hey, Coach, what's going on? Just saw hope you're doing well.
YouTube algorithms we have determined that YouTube algorithms do us no good because we are a very specific channel that strictly teaches.
Yeah, when you're going,
a lot of people don't want to take the time to learn.
There's always the like button, and there's actually articles about that. But when you're getting 50 to 100 likes, their algorithm doesn't do anything. It says, "Oh, he's getting 50 or 100 likes." Next, they're looking for stuff that's getting thousands and thousands of likes. And that's the one thing that they've learned too is that likes and dislikes don't matter. It's just the button hitting.
Engagement.
Yeah.
Engagement matters. Yep.
Somebody, fire, false alarm.
The street right behind my house, and that for them to go down that street, it's close.
Is Stack in here? She is. Firefighter alert.
Fire.
So, but yeah, again, it's one of those things that I don't know.
You're giving away the blob coin. Well, don't give it away. It's a decent coin. I mean, you didn't overpay horribly for it. It's just not what it's labeled as.
They do, Robert Bruce. They have
put it in a different flip that doesn't have that on it.
They have 82D small date zinc and 82D or 82P small date zinc and 82P small date copper.
There's 7 different coins.
7 normal business strike varieties for the 1982 and 82 Denver. 7 normal business strike, 1 proof, and 1 unicorn. It's toast. It's actually one of them low ball blob in the right spot coins. Well, so for that date, it's the 2. It's not uncommon for the 2 to look like that. There's a die chip or a broken die. It's not uncommon for the 2 to look like that on that date. But there are high grade examples of that coin with the 2 that's a blob like that. So that doesn't affect the coin. I'm just curious if the person ever said anything about it, if they ever admitted that.
I know what coin you're talking about now.
Yeah. There is a pattern, but Eric, here's the deal. Really, when it comes down to it, if you have a channel that is geared towards a specific thing, even if you have 1 billion subscribers, you're still only your target audience is, so people may subscribe to your channel, but it doesn't mean that they're going to come back and actually watch your content. You know what I mean?
If I
So
had to
I want
speculate,
people that are going to actually come and watch our channel and learn and
if I had to
not.
speculate about algorithm, I would say it's all advertising based.
We had so many people that were using us to answer, sending us emails that were just using our service that weren't even subscribing to our channel. They were just using our service. And that's why we had to cut out doing what we did. We still haven't come up with a good alternative to that yet, other than the Facebook group and utilizing the Facebook group. But it was not sustainable the way it was. It just wasn't. So I just support.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff costs money that people don't realize, that there is output of cash to get this stuff to keep it going. And you don't make money off of it.
Here's the real story. I like that guy selling it about the free stuff they gave me was one of them deals. Yeah, that still doesn't excuse the fact that it was sold as something that it wasn't, but okay.
Yeah. If you're okay with it, that's fine. It's just there's a responsibility factor there that needs to be made. So, yeah, and the cent hasn't been confirmed that it's going away. There's a lot of people talking about that.
Oh, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. You guys, every single one of you here in chat, I would be willing to bet my house that you will see the cent in your change for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
And probably your children's lives and probably your grandchildren's lives.
And there's a chance they don't quit manufacturing it.
Yeah, there is. But even if they stop manufacturing it, it's not going to change anything.
It's like there's certain things in our society that Congress is not really willing to deal with. And the penny might be one of them. I mean, I can't say for sure, but
he did not find that coin searching Invisible River Ranch. He did not find that coin searching. He may have thought he cherry picked it off of somebody.
That's how he found it. He is. I've seen him at shows. He goes around. He does what most variety collectors do.
He didn't find it coin roll hunting. That's for sure.
Crafty Dragon, I kind of believe that is more of a possibility than them saying they're not going to mint the penny anymore. Is them making it and putting it in the mint sets and maybe selling a few rolls.
And that's what they should do
on the website. Yeah.
And they should make them. And they should make it. They should make them bronze. They should go back to the original composition.
And sell them for $10 a roll or $20 a roll.
Yep, that's what they should do. That's absolutely what they should.
And that might be what they do. But there's no way to tell. And that statement, what is about 4 weeks old now since the Super Bowl? Stuff like that takes time.
February 9th.
Yeah, everything takes time.
But we know that they still minted them last month, and they didn't. I did the math. It was something like 300 million. And even if somebody said, well, they had to have, they could have stopped it after he made the announcement, which means that they would have minted over 300 million in just the first 9 days of February.
Well, but the Federal Reserve, the guy that's the head of the Federal Reserve, if the banks are saying we need pennies, they're going to make pennies. Yeah. And obviously the bank said, hey, we have no pennies. Out of one thing in this country, almost every house you go into has a jar of pennies sitting in it that people don't take back to the bank.
Yeah.
So they collect that stuff because it's a penny. So,
it costs almost 4 cents, Pedro, to make a cent, and it costs 13
almost
cents
13 cents to make a nickel.
Make a nickel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they make it up in the other denominations that they mint. I almost said print. Oh.
And also I think there's depreciating factors that are involved. The cent is kind of a tricky one because people tend to let it sit in a jar, but like a dime, why it costs them a lot of money. Dimes circulate for a long time. Nickels circulate for a long time. So like last year, they only made 80 million nickels, which is low for nickel production. It's because they had nickels in They had nickels in circulation. They didn't need any more. So you have lack of production where the bottom line would see normally, I'm not sure what it is. Let's say they make 1 billion nickels in a year. That normal, what they would put aside for that production has been saved. So you can take that off the back too. There was an article I read about the Lincoln Cent. If it lasts its actual projected life of 31 years, it doesn't cost three cents to make anymore. Where ultimately it does cost that much.
Yeah.
They recover some of that by not having to make more cents, if that makes any sense. I guess that's like the layman's way of saying it.
No, Invisible. I just want to clear something up real quick. There's no hostility here, Invisible River Ranch. You didn't know, you whatever. It's the thing that is wrong in that whole situation was that person had an opportunity to correct that information, and they doubled and tripled down because they were asked about it. And they doubled and tripled down. So they not only sold you something as something it's not, but also gave incorrect information to everybody that was watching that stream at the time. That's the only problem I have, because when you educate people or claim to be an educator, you should be absolutely willing to say when you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's not personal, Invisible River Ranch. It could be anybody. I've called Frostbyte out on stuff
all the time.
It's not that it's when you have an opportunity, when you're given an opportunity to correct something and you don't, that's where I have a problem. When you call yourself an educator and you don't correct yourself and you don't admit when you're wrong, that's when I have a problem. I am wrong. I have never had a problem saying when I've been wrong.
I'm wrong all the time. Look that was the statement I made to Silver Spurs today. When I did a reveal, because he sent me a message and said, "Hey, on the video, you said this was a double die." Well, technically it is, but it was a working hubbed double die.
And it eats me up inside when I know that I've given incorrect information. I will go completely out of my way to correct it and make sure.
I want to add something too, because Paula, when we did this, I shared the email with Paula. We were on the phone together. Mm-hmm. The email that I sent was very clear. You do not have to bring this up online.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know this question, but you do not have to read this email live. I'm not challenging you live. I just want to know, because we have looked at this and not been able to find anything. Can you tell me where you got this source? There is no history of this coin ever having existed. And what I was told is, I know it's hard for you to understand things. And I'm like, well, it's not that I'm having a hard time understanding. It's that it doesn't exist. I asked for a resource. That was all. And in the email, and I even shared, I was very clear. You do not have to read this out loud. I'm not challenging you publicly. I just wanted an answer. I was giving them an opportunity to go, maybe they knew something. Maybe they figured something out. And they doubled down and called me a fool for it. So that is a problem. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what your knowledge level is. When somebody gives you the opportunity, you should take that and go, you know what? I'll get back with you.
And Invisible River Ranch, I'll tell you also, and everybody in here in the chat who was watching at the time knows when we discussed this before, had it not been you or somebody that was my friend or that I knew, I may have mentioned it, but it would not have been as big a problem for me. It became more of a personal problem for me because I consider you my friend.
Hold on. I'm gonna take everything out.
Everybody who was in here knows that I specifically said that. It happened to be a friend of mine that was sold this, and so
I'm going to read you, Invisible. I'm going to read you I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously, because that'll be there.
That's true, Pedro. Thank you for that. That is true. That is true. And I'll tell you another thing about having certificates like that. And everybody can take that course. It's a correspondence course. Everybody can take that course. Yeah.
What are you looking for? Frostbyte, the email?
No, the
or coin picture. Boy, it got quiet in here.
I can't find. We might have moved to chat. You and I might have moved to chat because we ended up talking about it, and you might have done it then. But she was very clear that, hey, Invisible's my friend. And I was like, well, instead of you doing that, let's make sure that we address that. And at no point did we ever mention the channel that we're talking about. It's never been dropped. And so I want to be very clear. I gave that channel every opportunity to not mention or not do this. When you double down, it's our duty and our obligation to say, when you look at this, this is why certain things can't exist. So here are the fundamentals behind it. And again, at no point was the channel called out.
I did hours of research just to make sure that the information that I was passing along was correct. I searched every denomination, every year, everything for a single example of where that may possibly, for whatever reason, happened. And it's not out there. It doesn't exist. So, yeah, sorry, you guys. A lot of people in the chat don't even know what we're talking about. If you go back so Frostbyte actually has a short out there about an overdate that's not a possibility. He explains it in that.
There's a whole video.
Go back and watch
I think it's not just a short; it's a whole video.
Not last week, the last live we did, yeah. There was a whole discussion about it. So.
Yep, and so if you guys are looking for it, it's called "Only One Can Exist."
Yeah. And
there's a couple different coins on there, and there's a couple shorts that talk about specific variations in coins. I go over Morgan dollar, a peace dollar, give you ideas of why certain things can and can't exist. And Invisible, that's fine. Again, it has nothing to do with that. It's informational. That's all.
He knows stuff. I mean, he's not a dumb person.
Yeah. No, it's informational. That's all. Again, it's not a tag on the channel. It's not a tag on the person. Please don't take any of this personally.
And I can guarantee you that if you mention my name to that guy, he's going to have all kinds of bad things to say about me. So we'll just leave it at that. You want to, if there's any bad feelings, it's not mine to him. It's him to me.
Yeah. So the video, it's called Only One Can Exist. And it's also the thumbnail for the shorts and the thumbnail for the short video. The video is 1.5 minutes long. And then they all match. So if you look at the live stream, you'll see that one. If you go to the shorts, you'll see that one. And all it is examples of coins that cannot exist against ones that theoretically could exist. They're all done by overlays. And it's just, look at it. It's critical thinking. So no, Invisible, you're not. Okay. Look, one thing that I want to be, nobody's being pointed out here. Okay. It's the same thing with AZ Coins and his son getting him a counterfeit coin.
What the poker chip is.
Stuff happens.
It is a
what he won, a
Just
poker chip.
with a channel advertisement on it, Robert.
There.
Yeah. You won a channel poker chip. Poker chip.
And on the back has the state of Texas and the United States flag.
Very cool. I never did get my poker chip, by the way. I'm just saying.
It should come. I was delayed by a week and a half.
I know you were.
Yeah, badly. So yeah, we're not tagging anybody. Okay. That's just not.
He just says it's enough. We need to end it and move on.
Yeah.
He or she, I'm not sure.
Invisible
River Ranch. I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. I don't know them well enough.
It's a he.
It's a he. All right.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Not a biggie.
Hey, Jack Gallman, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. So, but yeah, on that note, anyway, it's almost 11 o'clock.
Yes,
it is 10:45. We've gone for a long time. I appreciate all the
Have a great day, everybody.
Conversation today. Thanks, Eric and Paul, as always.
Think of some good questions for tomorrow.
Yeah, have a great day, you guys. Bye.
Yeah, we'll see everybody in the morning.
All right, we'll see. What reveal are you doing today, Eric?
I'm not. I got one tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, outstanding. All right, then we will chat with you later.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, folks. Well, hey, again, information is power. And so whatever we can do to aid in that, that's fine. Looking at the information that was in the poll, there's a couple people that want to see more long form content from me. That's good. I will make sure that I put that stuff out there, and we'll try to give you guys some good information. There's also people who have said that they want to see more expert interviews. I'm going to be reaching out to some people and see if I can't meet that as well. Blue Ridge Silverhound came in earlier, dropped a $20 super chat. Robert Pentoff came in, dropped a $20 super chat. So thank you both for that. We had Steve LaPointe drop 5 gifted memberships. Thank you for the 5 new memberships as well. I really do appreciate all the support. Vote for Pedro once again. Thank you for blessing me with your channel round. I take that with great pride, and I appreciate all you do for the community. Thank you all so much. We will see you tomorrow. The topic is going to be chit chat, whatever we're going to talk about. So bring some questions. Have pictures of coins if you want to do that. Exclamation point email gives you my email address. Send me those email pictures. We'll talk about those. We'll bring those up as they come in, and we will talk about those things that you want to discuss. All right, y'all. Take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. We are only as good as the people we surround ourselves with, and the kindness. And remember, integrity first. Integrity above all else is what matters. All right, folks. I love you guys. Be well, be blessed. And I will see you all